Hello, everyone.
Anoushe.
Now we're live.
Apparently, we're live, and I missed that cue, and now I'm very awkward. But hi. So, considering the first topic we want to begin with is Hadeed centric. So, Hadeed, over to you.
All right. Okay. Super light topic. Say, I did a little bit of research into this before as well, but full disclaimer, like after digging a little deeper into it, there's a lot of myths attributed to it as well. But it's a little difficult verifying it. But I'm gonna basically talk about the hippie trail. Say, the hippie trail. Okay, first I'll preface it by saying what a hippie is. Hippie was a whole movement back in the 50s and 60s in the United States. Like these days it's associated mostly with drug use, but hippies were more of the whole flower power movement, the whole anti-war movement when America went to war in Vietnam, and and the American citizens who were against the idea of American involvement in foreign wars, they were the ones who went against the government. And because they had a lot of association with going to music concerts, consuming drugs over there, they were also of the opinion of legalizing marijuana. So eventually, I think it was Nixon who pushed out this anti-car draft bill that if you were drafted into the army, you had to go, and you didn't have a choice. That was like conscription. And then these hippies, they basically came out and protested against it, fought all of it, and that's where the term hippie came in from, because they were. I'm not sure why where what the etymology of the word hippie is, but okay, once all that ended, and the peak of the hippie movement came in the mid 50s and 60s in America, basically Osaka Jena, like the hippies, like much like Westerners today who love to travel over the third world and see what's going on and to travel as cheaply as possible. Back then as well, they found this route that basically traveled through most of Central Asia, like Western to Central Asia, and then onwards through East Asia, where they would go through and consume different kinds of cannabis that were local to that area. Now, I have it over here
Oh,
that most of their very first stop would start off in Turkey, right? They'd move on to places like Kazakhstan or
mm,
Tajikistan, onto Iran,
mhm.
into Afghanistan, right? Into Pakistan. Pakistan, they'd be in Peshawar, and then onto Lahore, onto India, and then forward on. In Pakistan, they actually frequented Peshawar quite a lot as compared to Lahore. And Peshawar, mein, as we all know, our northern areas are famous for their. Oh, wait, I haven't done one thing. Peshawar, mein, Peshawar is like famous for its church.
भाई
It's
उनकी अच्छी चार्ज होती है
हाँ, it's
उनकी जो
definitely
बात
अच्छी
है.
church होती है, and it's so sad that maybe like 50, 60 years ago there was so much cultural importance given to our church, and now it's
Mhm.
completely gone. Khair, over the years the hippie trail kind of. Well, so do you not agree? Do you not agree we should have more cultural importance given
नहीं
to
नहीं
our
I,
church?
I I agree I agree I think church is a very integral part of our culture
Culture?
होना चाहिए.
Definitely.
भाई
हाँ हाँ
hidden
why
parts
not.
definitely है and it is and we deny it लेकिन it is it's sad that we've suppressed it for so long but yeah.
We've got like some of the most premium shit like that grows in this region, Afghanistan and like the northern areas of Pakistan, like some good shit.
Yep.
Anyways, so
It's like one of the three mother strains, right? The Afghan Kush is one of
the
the
Afghan,
three mother strains.
definitely yes.
Yeah.
So the downfall.
अफगान और कंदाहारी.
Kandahari तो अब recent आया ना. Afghan Kush was one of the original strains जिससे जो है ना it's like जिससे फिर आगे more plants were breeded out of. There were more different varieties and stuff. I'm not a wheat farmer, but I'd like to be. Like if we legalize it over here.
तुझे पता है.
uh,
यार वैसे बहुत फिट नहीं होगा स्मॉल स्केल सबसिस्टेंस फार्मिंग बंदा करना शुरू कर दे डीक्रिमिनलाइज कर दें ये लोग दो पौधे उगा सकते हो आप लाइक इस तरह कर
yeah,
करके
we can add an
लेकिन नहीं.
entire whole new aspect to our economy if we legalize weed over here for commercial selling and stuff. But I really doubt that that's going to happen. Coming back to what happened to the hippie trail during the 70s, the what do you call it? The political environment in a few of these countries changed. Iran's 1970s, the Iranian Revolution, the rise of the Taliban in Afghanistan, the increase of dictatorships in Pakistan, caused people to kind of start, over skipping these three countries on their trail towards on their trail of the hippie trail, on the movement of the hippie trail, and they keep on going. And over time, as they keep skipping these countries, more and more of the countries that were involved in, like, the hippie trail, that were part of it, kind of started to fall apart. They were all third world countries, so they all had their own problems, and over the years it kind of just fell out. During the mid 2000s, they started to early 2000s, they wanted to start reviving the tour again, but then once again, once the war in Afghanistan started, the war against terrorism, and this region became embroiled in another fucking controversy, it kind of all fell out, and here we are today without a hippie trail. Surprisingly short.
Damn, man.
Now, I want you guys to like, what do you think will happen considering some countries are moving towards legalizing marijuana? So, do you think there might be like, I don't know, a new trail that could form? Maybe less culturally rich, but and without as much meaning, but like just for the heck of it.
यार I feel like हो सकता है यार, क्यों नहीं हो सकता? If shit settles down in Afghanistan, I think you could pretty much have the original hippie trail. But yeah, Iran may be circumvented through it. But like if
I
Iran is
don't think
also
it's
on
really
board,
about the
Actually, I
church
have a
though, no?
question.
It was never about the church. It was about the political movement and the sort of, make love, not war. उस तरह का वो जो सारा rhetoric था, वो as such इतना dominant नहीं है ना. उस time पे the drugs were a byproduct of this entire trail. It was more a political statement than just some
देखो,
people wanting to get
Asad,
high.
it can go the other way around as well. Means to an end नहीं तो ends to means वाली approach हम रखेंगे अब. हम
I mean,
लोग
if you really want it.
I mean,
I would want it, man. I would want it. Like Robert De Niro came here during this time. There's so many people, you look them up and they will come here. और अब नहीं आ सकते. Even यार ओबामा का, खैर ओबामा तो खैर इसके बाद ही आया होगा. Obama's roommate was a Pakistani and उसकी तस्वीरें हैं यार, वो बैठा हुआ है कराची में, सूटे मार रहा है. अब पता नहीं कौन से सूटे हैं, कच्चे हैं पक्के हैं, वो तो अब उसको ही पता है. लेकिन
मेरा एक दोस्त, वो चीमा नहीं है जो पहले दूसरे शो पे आया था, वो मुझे हर वक्त बताता रहता था कि ओबामा जो है गुजरांवाला में, एक टाइम था कि गुजरांवाला में हैंग करता था. Like he was
यार कैसे हो
convinced.
गया यार?
चीमा नहीं है जो पहले why
वो
गुजरांवाला out of all the places?
यार खाने पीने के शौकीन होगा ना यार, मंचीज भी तो लग जाती हैं. असद क्या हो गया यार? यानी फिर कहता है कि जाके
But yeah, I feel like इस वक्त if you bring back the whole church thing, उस तरह से it won't have the same cultural significance. It'll be all corporate and overpriced, and everyone will want to just turn it into a business and make a profit out of it. It won't have the
कोका-कोला ad बनाएगा उसके बारे में.
more or less. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Like it's gonna become really.
यार
Article, there's no
Yeah.
authenticity left to anything. Like anything that can be made money out of it, people will make money out of it and take the soul out of it. There's literally no one thing that you can say which hasn't been commoditized.
या ट्रू. देखो ना, पिशावरी एक ब्रांड होगा और दूसरा होगा नहीं, ये एजेंसी ब्रांड है. ये मंद एजेंसी ब्रांड है, नहीं ये बड़ा चिनार एजेंसी ब्रांड है. तो इस तरह की हमारे फिर वो बड़ा मसला हो जाएगा यार. ये तो टर्फ वॉर शुरू हो जाएंगी कि किसका गर्दा बेहतर है.
Okay, our video
लेकिन
stuck for
देखो
some
बाकी
reason.
क्या-
do you think इस trajectory के ऊपर पाकिस्तान कभी legalize करेगा?
Hadeed,
यार
our video is
पाकिस्तान
stopped.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
पाकिस्तान
You guys keep talking. I'll fix the video
अच्छा.
problem.
यार पाकिस्तान, आई फील लाइक थोड़ा अरसा और हो जाए, लाइक बाय थोड़ा अरसा आई मीन अ फ्यू डेकेड्स, तो शायद आ सकता है रिक्रिमिनलाइजेशन के ऊपर. लीगलाइजेशन फिर भी अभी मुझे लगता है अच्छा खासा टाइम दूर है. इवन दो डी फैक्टो तो जैसे कहते हैं ना लीगलाइज्ड ही है कंपैरेटिवली बाकी चीजों से, लेकिन एक स्टिग्मा सा अटैच्ड है यार इसके साथ. तो
So what do you think will happen first? Like, does the stigma have to get removed in order for the government to have confidence to be able to legalize it, or will the government legalize it and the stigma itself will go away with time?
यार आई फील लाइक द स्टिग्मा.
मुझे first से ही लगता है कि approach जरा medical marijuana से enter होगी और फिर abuse की तरफ जाएगी और फिर थोड़ा थोड़ा उससे I feel like that's where they'll derive the वो जो एक सीन होता है slowly trickle down कर रही है within society. लोग कह रहे हैं अच्छा इतनी बुरी चीज नहीं है, इस प्रोसेस के थ्रू थोड़ा एजुकेट हो रहे हैं, and then maybe it becomes widely available, still not under the banner of it being a legal drug, but like
जैसे नस्वार है ना. जैसे नस्वार है, you can get it anywhere. अभी अब लाइक ट्रिप पे
Yeah.
किधर जाओ, if you go up north, तो काफी जगह होती हैं जहाँ ये जो ड्राइवर होते हैं जो लाइक बसेस लेके जा रहे होते हैं बच्चों को ऊपर, they cannot operate without chairs. इनका बहुत एक critical ingredient for actually driving for 16 hours 18 hours a day और like फंस के हो आप किधर, that is chairs. मैं नेपाल भी, and it's not just chairs, आप नेपाल में for example hippie trail like काफी concentrate होता था in Kathmandu in the valley.
Okay.
उधर you'll find all sorts of weird hallucinogenics. आपको वहाँ एक अजीब सा, मैं सुनता था, there's this weird type of honey, and if you have that honey तो you'll have really awesome hallucinations. So like it's sort of not just one particular thing के चर्च है, it's a bunch of different things that made up the entire hippie movement.
Well, I feel like अगर देखो ये चीज कैपिटलाइज ही होगी और इवेंचुअली बिग कॉर्पोरेशंस आर गोइंग टू, अगर हो भी जाती है जो हदीद सेइंग कि ये टेक ओवर कर लेंगे, तो यार डोंट यू थिंक कि यार ये टूरिज्म हम लगे रहते हैं सारा वक्त, ठीक है यार, आप सोचो ना, आप गिलगित बैठे हुए हो, आप हुंजा बैठे हुए हो, आपके पास जबरदस्त सीनरी है और आप अपने मजे में हो वहां पे, तो वैसे यार वर्ड ऑफ
I
माउथ
feel like
होता है,
लेकिन
दूसरे
religious
country को बताता है
connotations
हर कोई।
काफी है ना जो restrict कर रही हैं. Cultural तो एक अलग चीज है वैसे भी.
हाँ, there's the whole religious aspect to it as
That's
well.
true.
But
But then again, the Niswar falls in the same like
techni-
drug bracket as does bhang.
technically, cigarettes should too. An intoxicant is an intoxicant, right? Like, there's a broad definition of an intoxicant.
Then so should coffee.
Exactly. Caffeine is an intoxicant by that logic. Nicotine's an intoxicant.
उस logic से तो फिर coke भी है और फिर चाय भी है और फिर
Hookah bhi hai.
मतलब आप
यार आप पानी ज्यादा पी लो, आपको वैसे ही हेलुसिनेशन होनी शुरू हो जाती है, तो वो तो पानी भी
ये कौन सा
ये कौन
पानी
सा
पीते
पानी
हैं
है?
आप?
यार आप जरा पानी पिए ना, जरा 2-3 जग इकट्ठे ऐसा
हुंजा का पानी तो नहीं है ये?
ये ट्रिपल डिस्टिल्ड वाटर तो नहीं है?
हुंजा water.
ये चित्राल
Absolute water.
वाटर है,
चित्राली
ये
वाटर.
जो लाल रंग का होता है, ये वो होता है, लेकिन
लाल से याद आया तेरा
लाल से आपको कुछ याद है यार? क्या याद है अजीब आपको?
लाल से क्या याद है? ये इस बात पे मैं आपको थोड़ा
तब
सा
थोड़ा यार,
push
किसी ने
करूंगी.
वाइकिंग्स देखा?
नहीं वैसे हाँ, हम लोग इस वक्त लाल लाल कर रहे हैं.
यार लास्ट वाला सीजन नहीं देखा है, उससे पहले वाला देखा है.
मैंने उससे ये
Do you
कहा.
think अच्छी डिपिक्शन है of the culture?
यार कल्चर
I haven't seen Vikings.
वैसे देखा जा सकता है.
यार एज अ नॉर्डिक पर्सन
अगर नजर आ रहा हो कल्चर तो फिर देखा जा सकता है सर.
अच्छा, ऐसे क्या सीन है यार?
यार मैं नहीं बता सकता यार, एज अ नॉर्डिक पर्सन किसी को ना नेटफ्लिक्स ये जो है वो ही बता
स्वीडिश
सकता
या
है.
स्कॉटिश?
It doesn't matter.
यार,
I mean, this was probably the highlight of the past week for me. ये जो tweet थी ना, बहुत मजे की थी.
बहुत ज्यादा मजे की थी.
It was absolutely amazing.
मैंने जाके स्पेशल देखा है यार, ये वेपर ट्रैप्स होते क्या हैं, और फिर मैंने इसको मैंने कहा कि मैं रिसर्च करता हूँ यार, वो बड़े मजे की चीज है यार. I mean, I know कि क्यों उन्होंने बेचारे ने कमेंट किया है. I know मैं उनके साथ.
अब मुझे बताया जाए कि क्या होते हैं ये.
Yeah. Who wants to go for it? Basically, wait, are you talking about the thirst or the vaporwave?
Pardon?
No,
Are you talking about the thirst or the vaporwave thirst traps?
No. I was talking about the vapor whatever thingy.
Okay, a vaporwave is basically like an aesthetic of really what do you call those? Neon colors, you call them neon colors and all that, and faded, grainy faded pictures, and then thirst traps are thirst traps.
Oh.
So vaporwave thirst traps are
Yeah,
thirst traps in that aesthetic, and a very esteemed.
Very precise.
It's the internet. There's
Niche है. मुझे
everything
नहीं
out
पता
there.
इस thirst traps की भी niche होती है.
Dude, thirst traps के पूरे categories हैं.
मतलब है यार, इसमें ना वो
अनुषे,
it seems like वो
बैठना चाहिए थोड़ा सा.
Pardon?
बंदा देखता है इस तरह
यार
की
मैंने
tweet
इसी चक्कर में फार्मर्स का कंडीशनर इस्तेमाल करना शुरू कर दिया काका की एडवाइस पे. सीख रही हूँ.
नहीं, लेकिन इस तरह के बंदे को ना, मतलब आप इस तरह की चीज देखते हो एंड यूर लाइक, नहीं मैंने कुछ बोलना है, यहाँ मेरा यहाँ बोलना जरूरी है, और फिर आप यहाँ 5 मिनट, मतलब बंदा सोचता है कि यार मैं कहाँ से कोई एक लिंक निकालूं, एंड देन लाइक दैट्स द मोस्ट
हम्म,
टेंजेंशियल लिंक। यार वो नेटफ्लिक्स पे शो था उस पे, और ये कुछ बन सकता है,
उसके
चलो।
नीचे मुझे लिखना चाहिए कि सर दैट रिमाइंड्स मी हाउ द सोशलिस्ट मूवमेंट गोइंग।
It's clearly going very well.
Oh, it's going way too well apparently.
यार
बहुत
चलो यार,
ज्यादा।
क्या
नहीं,
करें।
इसका वो जवाब आपको देंगे, मैंने उससे ये कहा, मैंने उससे ये कहा।
यार जो हाईलाइट एक और थी ना मेरे लिए, वो एक भाईजान थे, उन्होंने बहुत जबरदस्त सा एक कमेंट किया हुआ था, और उन्होंने कहा था जब लाल लाल ठरकाएगा, और मैं बड़ा खुश हो गया उसको देख के। ये बात है, ये बात है।
Okay.
कोई नहीं यार, होता है यार, मैं तो एम्पैथाइज करता हूँ, सिंपैथाइज भी करता हूँ। मैं कहता हूँ यार, मैं आई कंप्लीटली अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई, यू नो, क्लिप भी कर दिया, कमेंट भी कर दिया, सारा कुछ, और लिंक भी बना दिया कि यार किसी तरीके से तो मैं स्लाइड इन करूँ। होता है यार, इंसान है हम लोग, क्या कह सकते हैं।
We all have our days.
या वी डू, वी डू।
Okay.
It's just that we
अच्छा,
all don't
you're
have
going
our
to
days
have a
on
guest
Twitter.
today, नहीं?
हाँ, so we're actually, it's a pretty interesting guest.
Mm-hmm.
So as you all know, guest is joining us, टाइमिंग हमने अब थोड़ी सी कर दी है, उससे मैंने लिंक भेज दी है, अब देखते हैं कि टाइमिंग अच्छी होती है या मैं इंट्रोडक्शन दे देता हूँ, he doesn't join. But basically, as I'm sure you're aware, a couple of months ago, चाइना में एक शहर है वुहान के नाम से। तो वुहान
हाँ,
में
अरे,
से एक, हाँ सर, मैं जरा प्लीज इंट्रोडक्शन दे रहा हूँ, प्लीज डोंट इंटरप्ट। तो वुहान में ना एक लैब थी, बायो लैब। अब यहाँ बहुत सारी स्पेकुलेशन है कि क्या हुआ था, बट बेसिकली वुहान इज अ सिटी अराउंड द साइज ऑफ लाहौर, और उसमें इट बिकेम द एपिसेंटर फॉर दिस वायरस कॉल्ड कोरोना वायरस, और कोविड-19, प्यार से कोविड कहते हैं लोग। एंड सो इट स्प्रेड ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड, और अब काफी जगहों पे लॉकडाउन्स हो रहे हैं, क्वारंटीन शुरू हो चुकी है काफी जगहों पे। सो ये बैकग्राउंड सबको पता था होपफुली। तो बेसिकली हमारा जो गेस्ट है, द गेस्ट इज रीसेंट ग्रेजुएट, रीसेंट तो खैर नहीं, 2017 में ग्रेजुएट किया था, इट्स अप टू यू टू कॉल हिम रीसेंट और नॉट। हिज नेम इज मामून बाबर, और मामून साहब जो हैं उन्होंने काफ़ी, ही इज़ वेरी इंटरेस्टेड इन डेटा, and he's an engineer by profession. What he's done is he has essentially analyzed how we are implementing lockdowns in Pakistan, and then he's gone
okay.
further to actually figure out के मतलब है आपकी जो, he's trying to micromanage selective lockdowns. And what he's done is कि कुछ मतलब अगर एक शहर है, रावलपिंडी है फॉर एग्जांपल, तो उसके अंदर first what he's done is कि he's built this platform that can categorize parts of, I'll have him explain this better, but basically काफी अच्छा वो contact tracing के ऊपर काम कर रहा है, and then he's building these clusters, and उन clusters को फिर categorize कर रहे हैं कि ये are these are these green है, yellow है, red है, is this healthy or potentially transmittable, या is this a very severe area, and based on that the government can take very well informed decisions कि आपने selectively lockdown किस तरह से करना है, because a blanket lockdown, as Imran Khan also said, isn't going to be very easy with a third world country, especially with people जो काफी सारे live under the poverty line. तो मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन जितना भी मैं लंबा कर सका था मैं कर लिया है, लेकिन वो अभी तक नहीं आया, तो अब हम क्या बात करें, समय जरा
और
मैसेज
ना
भेजता
करने दो मुझे इंटरप्ट, सही हुआ है तुम्हारे साथ।
हूँ।
तो ये पक्की बात है यार, वुहान में ही हुआ था ये शुरू। मैंने तो बड़ा इसके
यार
बारे में सुना है कि यार अमेरिकी लेबोरेटरी में जो है ये, वो वहां से है ये बात।
Have you
क्या
been
क्या
watching
ख्याल है
Hakikat
सर इस
TV?
यार
बारे में?
ये अब ये हकीकत टीवी यार, ये अब स्पेकुलेशन है।
कि ये अमेरिका से आया है कि नहीं है?
हम्म
What do you think? Would like America actually have infected everyone? Because I feel like with America, kind of losing some of its power in the world, in the face of China right now. There is a little bit of a power shift that's going on. It's not the craziest idea that China would push out a virus for which it was already prepared, give it a few months, let it play out, push out with the vaccine, and then take over control. Because look, America's pulled out from the World Health Organization, right? China can swoop in, start funding the World Health Organization, take it under its wing. The United Nations is already somewhat, already pulled by China. If they start to become, the epicenter of the world's medical system, especially after a global pandemic like that, suddenly their influence grows a lot. They're growing their money. They've got the One Belt One Road project. They're investing in many countries in Africa. They're buying out debts of many countries. It's not the craziest idea that they want to push the United States out of every frame possible.
Yeah, ऊपर से नहीं, it's
Yeah.
not just China. It's not just China flexing its muscles. It's the US doing stupid things. कल I don't know if you guys saw, but वो याद है WWE का जो boy होता था जो announcement करता था.
Vince McMahon, he was the president
Bro,
of WWE, not just the announcer.
he has been appointed as a senior advisor to restart the economy. मतलब है, और ये हुआ है a day after Donald.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, Vince McMahon.
हाँ, he's the economic advisor to the president of the
Holy
United States.
Shit, bro.
And this comes after a day when ट्रम्प आता है, इसकी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है. प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आता है, कहता है यार तुम लोग सारे CNN फेक न्यूज हो, ने वीडियो बनाई है. उसके बाद ही प्लेज अ मोन्टाज ऑन इट, प्रॉपर टीवी पे मोन्टाज बताता है कि देखो मैंने किस तरह से टाइमलाइन के अंदर मैंने सही बातें की हैं. ये करके ही देन गोज ऑन एंड ही सेज आई एम नॉट अ डॉक्टर बट आई हैव कॉमन सेंस. तो ये 4 नॉन FDA अप्रूव्ड ड्रग्स हैं, हाइड्रोक्लोरोक्सीन और पता नहीं ये 3-4 मेडिसिन हैं. तो आई थिंक ले लेनी चाहिए. लाइक इट कुड किल यू. आई एम नॉट अ डॉक्टर बट मेरे ख्याल से ले लेनी चाहिए. यू शुड टेक इट. यू शुड डेफिनेटली टेक इट. एंड सो
Jesus
लाइक
Christ.
अब इसमें मुझे बताओ कि इसमें चाइना कौन सा कोई तीर मार रहा है.
Okay.
यार जब बंदा अपनी यही पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मारना चाह रहा हो, उस पे चाइना हो या क्या हो, वो कुछ को रोक तो नहीं सकता. तो
I mean,
बहरहाल
it might not even be apne paon pe kulhadi marne wala. Like, when Trump was elected, there was the whole conspiracy that, he was in collusion with the Russians. The Russians put him up so that they could weaken the position of the United States. Would it be the craziest thing that, through the Russians, China is like, kind of directing some of the things?
I mean, यार कुछ भी हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है. ये तो बात है. और अभी if you see, US is probably the hardest hit country right now.
Yeah, suddenly it's become the hardest hit countries for
Yeah.
the top two number of deaths in one day. I think 2100 and 2400 happened in the United States over the past 48 or 72 hours. It is insane right now how many people are.
यार ये तो बस है.
All right, Asad, I think your
अल्लाह
guest
खैर
is
करे
here.
यार, खत्म हो गया.
Hello.
Hello.
So nice to have you here. Thank you for taking out some time to grace us with your presence.
I don't think he
I
can
don't
hear
think
us
you
right now.
can hear us.
मामून आवाज आ रही है? He can't hear us.
I don't think he can hear us right now.
We can hear each other, so it's probably on his end.
So how do we fix it? How do we tell him how to fix it?
Asad, you might want to give him a call. Let him know. Okay. Meanwhile, let's go back to COVID and the world conspiracy of how China's trying to take everything over.
Yep.
Okay.
So, what do you think? After this, do you think China's health system is going to come out on top? It's going to be much more advanced than what it was right now?
I think the entire thing happened just so Cardi B could release that video and
यार वैसे वो बहुत
make
मजे की
the
वीडियो थी.
next 6 months in all of our lives. I swear
Oh, यार
that
वो
video is gold.
that video is amazing. ठीक है ना. और मैं जितनी दफा उसको पोस्ट करूं मुझे और मजा आता है. और मैं चाहता हूं कि वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग देख सकें और ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग जो हैं उससे इस्तेफादा हासिल कर सकें. देखें, कार्डी भी एक इंसान तो है, लेकिन कार्डी भी एक सोच भी है. वो सोच पहले समझती थी कि जो है कोरोना एग्जिस्ट नहीं
Cardi
करता.
B एक एहसास है.
कार्डी
आप
भी एक
सोच की
एहसास
बात
है जो
करें.
हमारे एहसास प्रोग्राम में क्यों नहीं है. इमरान खान तुम्हारी ऐसी की तैसी. तुमने अभी तक कार्डी बी को हमारे एहसास प्रोग्राम में क्यों नहीं किया? तो
यार प्लानिंग नहीं कर रहा बॉय यार, क्या कर रहा है?
Hello.
Okay, I think
I'm sorry.
Hello, can you hear
हेलो
us?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you guys.
Tech
Hello,
support 101.
जी वालेकुम.
can you hear us?
can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. मामून
Okay, you
हमने
can hear us.
काफी
Great.
stall करके introduction दिया आपका, but like why don't you just quickly tell everybody about you and what क्या story है?
दोबारा आवाज चली गई है.
Oh no, I think you stopped hearing us again.
It just skipped everything you just said.
Alright, नहीं, I was just saying हमने काफी introduction दिया आपका, but like why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
I think we can join in after some time. मतलब
हेलो मामून, आपको आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
Okay, he's muted his mic. I feel like there's some sort of technical
Hello?
problems on the other end.
या ये जो है ना, ये मैं पीटीसीएल को ब्लेम करूंगा यार इसके लिए. देखो उन्होंने हमारी जो क्वारंटाइन है ना उसमें बहुत ज्यादा मसला किया, और ये अभी भी पीटीसीएल के ऊपर ही है यार. थोड़ी सी बारिश हुई है, मुझे नहीं पता मामून भाई कहाँ से बेस्ड हैं, लेकिन मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली ये इस्लामाबाद या लाहौर में से ही गई हैं. और थोड़ा सा जनाब पहला कतरा गिरा है और पीटीसीएल ने कहा बाय बाय टाटा अल्लाह हाफिज, मैं जो हूँ मैं नहीं, मैं जा रही हूँ यार. तो यार ये हुआ, क्या हो सकता है.
Luckily, like abhi tak no shark has broken the internet cable, so we don't have to face that problem of no internet at all. Or like
यार शार्क्स जो हैं बड़ी तेज हो गई हैं यार. शार्क्स जो हैं वो सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग कर रही हैं.
from the wild.
ये
यार आज
From
हमारी
the
किस्मत
wild,
बहुत
यार.
ज्यादा खराब नहीं है.
Kyun, how come?
यार
Like
हमारी
in general hai, but what are you talking
क्या
about in particular?
मतलब आज ज्यादा like technical flaws आ रहे हैं यार. ये तो
Yeah.
it has shattered our entire illusion of
I feel like there's
कि ये TV show है.
I feel like there's something wrong with
Having our shit together.
I feel like there's something wrong with the internet today. I've been struggling to use it since morning. Like nothing's been loading properly. Not YouTube, not Twitter, not Reddit. Like everything's been taking time to stream or load.
नहीं, मेरा भी सही नहीं चल रहा. हमारी स्ट्रीम भी बार-बार फंस रही है.
My stream be bar bar. Like I feel like there's some sort of an issue with the.
बारिश हुई है ना.
Ugh, dude, seriously, like is that
I
the
mean-
legit reason कि like our internet stops working because it fucking rained?
I don't know. But like
It's
मैं और
either
अनुशे
that
रॉन्ग पे
या
हैं,
शार्क
तू
ने
नया टेल पे है,
पीटीसीएल की
एक
तार
पीटीसीएल.
खा ली है.
हाँ, यही होता है ना, शार्क ने पीटीसीएल की तार खा ली है.
शार्क ने पीटीसीएल की तार खा ली है.
I fucking hope not, homie, because इस वक्त तो कोई जाएगा भी नहीं ठीक करने.
इस तरह कोई भी नहीं जाएगा. अपन ही
बारिश हो
जाएंगे
रही थी
बाहर
तो
निकले,
शार्क ने
कोरोना
कहा
काट
कि
के
मैं
शुरू
तार
कर
के
देगा.
नीचे छुप जाती हूँ.
यार अभी मेरा
यार
भी यही
कौन
मसला
जाके
है
ठीक
कि
करेगा इस वक्त. मसला है यार, पानी में अगर किसी मछली को कोरोना हुआ फिर कौन जाएगा ठीक
इंटरनेट को
गाइस जानवरों को कोरोना होना शुरू हो गया है बाय द वे.
Yeah, tigers in the
It's
tigers or
pretty
lions
bad.
in the US
Yeah.
were the first ones to be.
Yeah.
Damn.
नहीं, more than टाइगर्स. अभी ये मैंने कोई पढ़ा था आर्टिकल के जर्मनी में जो जू है ना उसमें बिकॉज दे डोंट हैव एज मेनी sort of people coming in, so they're losing revenue. उनके काफी बुरे हालात चल रहे हैं. So the guy who's running the actual zoo उसने भी आके स्टेटमेंट दिया कि like we might eventually have to end up feeding certain animals to other animals. तो उसके लिए फिर अब हम कैटेगराइजेशन सिस्टम बना रहे हैं कि फॉर एग्जांपल यू कांट ईट अ पैंडा बिकॉज़ pandas are very rare. But like
They're out of extinction वाला मसला, but like
कोई like घोड़ा है या कोई अगर बहुत ही बेसिक सा जानवर है तो like उसको like सोचा जा सकता
यार
है.
उनको कोई
You can
सांप
feed it to a
मुझे
lion or
करते
something.
पैसे दे दूंगी.
यार. लेकिन असद आप समझते नहीं हो यार, इसी तरीके से करना शुरू हो गया तो पैंगलॉन्स के ऊपर वापस आ जाएंगे, फिर बैट्स के ऊपर चले जाएंगे, फिर कुछ और हो जाएगा. ये तो एक बड़ा मसला है यार. देयर इज ओनली इन फाइनाइट अमाउंट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट यू आई गेस एवरीबॉडी ईट्स. तो ये तो बड़ा मसला हो जाएगा यार.
I fucking hope not, man. God damn, dude. You just made me think about eating pangolins and bats against like coronavirus 2.0 waiting to happen.
तेरे घर पे
अच्छा,
पैंगोलिन
but I
लेने
have
का
a
आता है.
question.
Oh yeah, I had
If
a
you had
pangolin
to
visit
eat
my house.
one zoo animal Which zoo
Mamoon,
animal
can you
would you
hear us
want
now?
to eat?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine now.
Perfect.
Depend
Awesome.
Yeah.
depends on.
Really sorry for the mess up here.
Yeah, no problem.
It's
No
all
worries,
right,
bro.
but
यार
we're so
चलता
glad to
रहूंगा
have
यार.
you here. Thank you
हाँ,
for
thank you
taking
so
our
much.
time.
No issue, no issue, no issue. क्या हाल है सबका?
अच्छा, बिल्कुल फिट फाट. अच्छा मामून, नाउ दैट वी कैन हियर यू, हमने काफी आपका एक लंबा सा इंट्रोडक्शन दिया था, इसके बाद में स्टॉल भी काफी
अच्छा.
किया, बट इट्स बेस्ट इफ यू कम एंड एक्सप्लेन के हु यू आर एंड व्हाट यू बीन
करते क्या
वर्किंग
है आप?
ऑन टू टॉक अबाउट सेलेक्टिव लॉकडाउन्स एंड ऑल दैट कोविड सिस्टम.
Okay, sure, sure, no issue, no issue, no issue. So basically, I started, I graduated from NUMS in 17 as a double engineer, and I currently have a company by Electromotive, जो IoT पे काम करती है. लेकिन me and another friend, we basically work in software as well. So it was our idea कि इस कोविड जो सारा सिनेरियो बना है, इसमें one thing not anyone was talking about was the time span. Basically, the time span can range from 12 to 18 months. जब तक हमारे पास वैक्सीन आती है और सारा कुछ होता है, तब तक it might be too late. We might enter another cycle. We might have another outbreak. अगर आपके पास एक भी बंदा वायरस इन्फेक्टेड हो, तो it can cause an outbreak. So we thought of this solution कि अभी करंटली आप देख रहे हैं कि पूरी इकोनॉमीज लॉकडाउन में चली गई हैं, यूएस से लेके मतलब अक्रॉस द ग्लोब इट्स रिसेशन टाइम. और इकोनॉमी एक फैक्ट्री की तरह होती है, मतलब फैक्ट्री जब 24/7 नहीं चलती, एक दिन भी बंद होती है, तो उसका बहुत नुकसान होता है. तो वी थॉट कि इंट्रोड्यूसिंग टेस्ट एंड ट्रेस वुड बी अ रियली गुड आइडिया कि what if we can separate the unhealthy from the healthy? So basically, the potentially affected COVID patients or the COVID patients from the healthy population. So, for example, the app works like that. कि सबसे first and foremost is the let me explain the logic of it. ये सबसे फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट वो डेटा आता है जो लोग अफेक्टेड हैं. ठीक है, आपने सुना होगा कि डिजिटल पाकिस्तान भी कोशिश ये करने की कोशिश कर रहे कि जितने भी पोटेंशियली अफेक्टेड थे उन लोग के साथ एक ट्रैक में वो सारे भी जो है ना मैप हो जाए. तो हम सारा वो डेटा उठा के उसके ऊपर बिल्ड करना चाह रहे हैं. मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल असद, अनुशे, हदीद, अब सबके पास ऐप है. यू टेक अ सिंपल सर्वे टू मार्क योरसेल्फ हेल्दी, ठीक है, या अनहेल्दी. होता ये कि आपकी जियो लोकेशन के साथ वो टैग हो जाता है. ठीक है, आपकी हेल्थ इज aligned with your health is basically aligned with your location. So if you cross the path with a COVID patient or a potentially COVID patient, your health is also declined. ठीक है. Similarly, we want to extend this to different locations. Locations से मुराद ये कि for example आप सब लोग डिवॉटसन गए हैं या आप लोग गए हैं जिना पार्क, ठीक है, and you are a person जिनका कलर कोड है येलो, तो F9 पार्क का भी कलर कोड मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली येलो हो जाएगा बिकॉज अ पोटेंशियली अफेक्टेड पर्सन विजिटेड दैट प्लेस. ठीक है, उसका टाइम स्पैन डिसाइड हो सकता है कि मतलब 24 आवर्स के लिए अफेक्टेड रहेगी जब तक इन्फेक्शन डिसइंफेक्ट ना हो जाए, ये सारा. तो इट्स अ लॉन्ग प्रोसेस. अभी के लिए what we really need is traction for the idea, क्योंकि the more people download it, the more data that comes in. ठीक है, at some point in time इसी तरह होगा कि once the data comes in, the survey part won't matter, the self analysis part won't matter, क्योंकि आपके पास एक लार्ज पूल ऑफ डेटा है. वी कैन सी कि यार आप कहाँ कहाँ अफेक्टेड एरियाज पे गए हो और यू नो उस तरह हेल्थ सारी को हो सकती है. सो दिस इज द मेन जिस्ट ऑफ द टेस्ट एंड ट्रेस आइडिया.
राइट, बट इसमें फिर वही बात आती है कि इट्स ऑल सॉर्ट ऑफ हिंजिंग ऑन अ फंडामेंटल ऑनर सिस्टम, राइट? कि मैं इट हेवीली रिलाइज ऑन द इंटेग्रिटी ऑफ माय आंसर्स. पहली बात है कि मैं सर्वे करूं और दूसरी बात है कि मैं सर्वे सही तरह से आंसर करूं.
ये have you seen the survey मतलब for COVID number one?
नहीं.
नहीं.
So basically it's a simple yes or no कि आप 14 दिन पहले घर से बाहर गए हो या नहीं गए, आप किसी ऐसे बंदे से मिले हो या नहीं. अब the thing is कि what I'm saying again and again is कि once we reach the 50,000 people mark जिन्होंने सर्वे दे दिया है, right, उसके बाद ये चीज इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाती है. क्यों? क्योंकि by that time if you move around the city, one city to another city, you might be potentially crossing paths with a potential COVID patient or a COVID affected patient. ठीक है, तो उसमें your survey won't matter. ठीक है, एक certain point तक this
Just
is
for
for your.
any, can I just, sorry about the term, but like, I don't know how else to put it, but like just for Amy, जिस तरह से आपने कहा कि आप नई सर्वे फिट like सही तरह कर रहे हैं. असद just for the heck of it ticks yes in the box के I traveled 14 days ago, then ticks yes in the box के this is like I met somebody who has corona, right, just for the sake of it.
Yeah, yeah.
असद के घर में 5 लोग रह रहे हैं, ठीक है. असद के घर में फॉर एग्जाम्पल हेल्प है, वो जहाँ जहाँ जा रही है, एंड देन लाइक इफ आई मेट असद माय नेचुरल रिस्पॉन्स इज गोना बी लाइक ओ शिट, बट देन दैट चेन रिएक्शन बिगिंस बिकॉज असद मेरे से भी मिला है और हदीद से भी मिला है और काका से भी मिला है. Then essentially what you're saying is
Uh-huh.
that all of this is going to start showing up as like red on your index. So how are you going to deal with that?
Okay.
How
So
do you make sure
basically,
people take this seriously?
yeah. So basically, what we're trying is कि आप अपने आप को self analyze करो. ठीक है, मतलब this is the outlying umbrella architecture of this whole app. मतलब अगर आप, क्योंकि यूजुअली 1166 जो हेल्पलाइन है उनको बहुत ज्यादा कॉल्स आती है कि यार आई थिंक आई माइट हैव कोरोना, आई थिंक आई मेरा फीवर है, शायद हो सकता है. वो सारे एलिमेंट्स उसमें जाहिर हो रहे हैं. दिस इज फॉर योर सेल्फ एनालिसिस एज वेल. बात समझे? सो इट्स नॉट स्पेसिफिकली कि लोग बताएं कि नहीं यार मैं रेड ना हो जाऊं. मैं आपको ये बता रहा हूँ कि after a certain point जब 50-60,000 people use it, ठीक है, that data set in its own, वो उसकी efficiency मैं आपको बता देता हूँ कि that would be 30-40%. लेकिन जो मूवमेंट है, जो न्यू कोरोना केसेस के रिकॉर्ड है, जो वो कहाँ कहाँ मूव हुए हैं, उनके टेस्ट कहाँ कहाँ हुए, किस किस लोकेशन पे हुए, all of these data points create an accurate scenario कि वो हो सके, अच्छा सही तरीके से डिटेक्ट हो सके.
Okay, you said that.
Right, लेकिन
Okay, sorry, yes, you go.
go ahead.
No, no,
Go
you go.
ahead, Hadeed, go.
Okay, you
नहीं,
said
जा रहे थे.
you said that once you answer all the questions on the app and you get your diagnosis, that you get a geotag with you that follows you around, that has all your data, all your location, all your movements. My question is, who has access to this data, right? Which institutions, which government organizations? What's guaranteeing our privacy of this data, and what's the guarantee that there won't be any misuse of this data of our movements, and in an environment where a lot of our movement is already tracked?
Okay, so the thing is that first of all, it's anonymized data. I wouldn't know कि it's Hadeed or it's Asad, it's Anoushe, it's Kaka, whoever it is, it's anonymized. Unlike Facebook, unlike any other thing, excellent. So basically, the thing is that let me just set this up. Is it fine now?
आवाज़ थोड़ी सी कम हो गई है.
नहीं, आवाज अब कम हो गई है बहुत. बैकग्राउंड नॉइज अब नहीं आ रही, बट आवाज अब बहुत कम आ रही है.
अच्छा, अभी ठीक है?
Yeah, better.
That's better.
अच्छा, so basically अभी जो प्ले स्टोर और iOS कर रहे हैं वो भी यही कह रहे हैं कि any COVID app should be released by a health department. ठीक है, तो we are not the overarching anymore. मतलब पहले ये था कि मतलब जितनी भी कोविड एप्स आ रही थी वो मिस इन्फॉर्म करी थी, हर दूसरा बंदा उठ के आके जो है ना कोई ऐप डाल रहा था. तो करेंटली हम भी एनडीएमए से, एनआईएच से, इन सबसे परमिशंस ले रहे हैं कि हम आपके नाम के साथ इस चीज को अटैच करें, ताकि यू हैव द कंट्रोल ओवर दैट डेटा। ठीक है। सो डेटा का ये है कि मतलब इफ द गवर्नमेंट्स ऑलरेडी वाचिंग, दैट्स अनदर थिंग। लेकिन वी वोंट, नंबर वन वी कांट, जब तक कोई बंदा रेड ना हो ना, तब तक हम उसका डेटा एक्सेस नहीं कर सकते कि यार ये हदीद है या नहीं। और हम नाम भी नहीं, हम नंबर सिर्फ यूज करेंगे उसका। जो रजिस्ट्रेशन वो है ना, वो भी आपका सिर्फ नंबर है, सेल फोन नंबर। सो दैट इज हाउ वी आर इंश्योरिंग इट।
और वो जो नंबर है वो पीछे मैप होगा नादरा के साथ, आई एम अज्यूमिंग।
या इट्स नेचुरल, मतलब मेरे पास नादरा का एक्सेस नहीं है, उनका अपना एक वेरिस्टिस सिस्टम है जिसमें वो नंबर पुट करेंगे, वो आपका नाम उठा लेंगे, आपका सीएनआईसी उठा लेंगे। दैट इज द गवर्नमेंट्स जॉब देन।
राइट, इसमें वैसे इट माइट बी मतलब आई एम श्योर फेसबुक एंड गूगल, आई रिसेंटली रेड देयर आल्सो doing a bunch of work on contact tracing. तो इसमें like have you guys tried to reach out to Facebook या Google and figure out वो किस तरह से help out कर सकते हैं? Uh,
Yeah. मुझे अभी वो उसके आई थिंक अब्दुल्ला के उसमें से माइक में से फीडबैक आ रहा है, देयर इज लाइक अ लूप कमिंग बैक इन।
yeah. So Abdullah is your partner, right?
या अशर, आई थॉट कि हमारे माइक में मसला है, तो इसलिए आई टोल्ड हिम टू शिफ्ट टू अनदर रूम।
So Abdullah is your partner, right?
या अशर, आई थॉट कि हमारे माइक में मसला है, तो इसलिए आई टोल्ड हिम टू शिफ्ट टू अनदर रूम।
No, it's fine.
All right. So Abdullah, Mamoon was just telling us what you guys are up to and how it can really create a dent in the spread of and the transmission of coronavirus in Pakistan. What you guys are up to and how it can really create a dent in spread of and transmission of coronavirus.
Yeah, so I was listening to the questions, some of the questions that you guys were coming up with, and I think they're interesting questions, especially the survey one. I mean, how much, uh, how much is the survey? I'm so sorry, I have to interrupt this. Mamoon, I can hear my voice again. How much is
Yeah, I
the
can hear it too
survey?
now.
I'm so sorry, I have to interrupt
Yeah.
this. Mamoon,
Are you guys sitting in the same space?
yeah, we were sitting together, yeah.
Acha, feedback. Are you guys sitting in the same space? All right, continue.
Okay, so I'm gonna start. So about the survey, I think that's a good question. That we can't solely rely on survey, and that is what the model is based on. We're not relying on survey. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a tidy tree, right? Tidy tree. What tidy tree does is that it maximizes the amount of nodes, right? And every node is determining your patient risk score.
Right.
And every node is determining your patient risk score. So, for instance, if you were to go to a hospital and get yourself tested, that data is also being consolidated in our platform.
Acha.
And then there are several other nodes that we'll keep adding to the same data, which will be determining your patient risk score in real time. So, and what you guys are mentioning is actually a very good point, because this is the limitation in the Apple and Google platform that they're coming up with. This is the limitation in Trace Together in Singapore.
But
And
so
with
considering all of this, what do you guys अभी तो देखो ना इसमें timeline अगर मैं देखता हूँ, I think Anoushe, everybody else would agree with me कि हमें ये नहीं पता कि 24 अप्रैल को खुल जाएंगी चीजें, हो सकता है यकम मई को खुल जाएं, हो सकता है नवंबर में खुलें. It's a developing story and no government is fully prepared, nor do they have a crystal ball that will tell them कि हो क्या रहा है. So considering this sort of catch-22 situation, ये सारा जो टेक है, ये सारी जो पार्टनरशिप्स हैं, मीटिंग्स चल रही हैं, जो भी सिस्टम बन रहा है,
Asad, you've frozen out. If you can still hear us.
In a very awkward position to be frozen out in.
I know. uh, okay, I feel like we'll.
उनका भी mic on तो
I'm not even entirely sure where Asad was going with that question. When we could have continued that on.
I'm
हाँ
viewing he was enthusiastic about the question though.
You can tell on his face
मैं खुद
he was
बड़ा
really
वो हो
into
रहा
what he
था
was
कि
about
मुझे
to ask.
पता
He's
चले
really into it.
Wait. Okay. So tell us a little bit more about like how this whole app was developed, how you came about the whole idea that that this needs to be that this is the right way to go, and this will be an effective solution, and kind of.
Uh, so So we were following what China is doing,
Mm-hmm.
and we were also there were a lot of friends who were working in Google, and there were a lot of whispers from there that Google and Apple they're coming in collaboration, and we knew that they're going through the MIT proposal that MIT gave about the using Bluetooth LE, and Mamoon and I were discussing, and we thought, okay, I mean, it's really underwhelming for Google and Apple to come up with a solution which is so limited. So him and I started discussing that if there was a better solution or not, and then we came up with implementing the tidy tree, right? And then we thought that the limitations of trace together and the limitations of all of these other tracing apps, how to sort of rectify that. And that is what we're trying to do with this, especially the maximizing the amount of nodes thing, because the thing is when the lockdown does come to an end, and it will come to an end, and so that has a potential for uh, a larger problems, right? So what the problem with the current solutions, especially the tracing ones, is that they're not focusing on consolidating data, right? The more
right
data you have, the more secure you can make your localized sort of like the localized visualization could be more accurate, and so that is why the consolidation of data is very important, and that is what we are emphasizing on, that the hospitals, the police, everywhere you go, that all of that data should be consolidated. And I think one of the other question that I think came up right now was that whether the data would be secure or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a very good question, right? I mean, us as a private entity, we should not have access to such data, right? Tracking everybody's mobility at every given point and knowing their health. So eh, for us, it's not an issue. We can move this to a decentralized network where data is like secure with everyone else. So that is not hard. But I think in any case, because we are talking to a lot of government institutes and all of them are interested in especially the data bit. So from that regard, I think when we do get accepted by Play Store and Apple Store, and that will only happen once we have like a government institute supporting us. So then the data will be handed over to the government. The actual question that we need to be asking is that whether that data is secure with the government or not. But I think that's a debate for like some other day.
That's a very different
But
discussion. Yeah.
yeah, that's a very different discussion. But but yeah, so but in terms of like what we want, we don't have an issue moving this to a decentralized platform. I mean, sure, the sign up is going to be a hassle for users. I mean, you move something to a blockchain network, then the sign up becomes like a huge hassle. But keeping that aside, we don't have an issue putting it on decentralized network, so that everybody's data is secure.
Yeah.
I feel like Asad's gone again. Can you explain what a decentralized network would be exactly and how it would keep data secure?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
In very simple terms,
Hmm.
there is no server, there is no aggregation of data. So your data is sort of like decentralized over several networks. So your phone, my phone, somebody's computer, that's all decentralized. And then it's used, so it's wrapped around in a blockchain key. So every person has a specific key that they use to access their own data.
Yeah. So basically, adding on to that, it's called Internet 3, 3.0.
Okay.
सो सारा कुछ जो आपका डेटा है सब कुछ है वो अलग अलग सर्वर्स पे और ब्लॉकचेन पे है सो देयर इज नो फिजिकल सर्वर होस्टिंग दैट एप्लीकेशन एवरीवन हैज देयर ओन यूनिक की सिर्फ ओवर आर्चिंग जो हीट मैप्स बन रहे हैं जो चीज़ें बन रही हैं ओनली दे कैन बी सीन बाय एवरीवन इस तरह नहीं हो सकता कि आई कैन गो इन इनटू एनोनिमाइज जैसे फेसबुक करता है कैटेगराइजेशन करता है, आपकी प्रोफाइलिंग करता है. I can't do that, neither can Asher. No one else can do that.
I just want to add one more interesting point. So we are talking to Punjab IT board, and we have a meeting with them on Monday, right? So what they want to do with us is something very interesting. They want that, so they have these testing kits, right? Which I think give you a result, antibody tests in 10 minutes, right?
10
So
minutes.
what they're doing is they're putting barcodes on that, right? And when you get tested, so that your barcode is associated with your number, and then your data is naturally updated. So they want to update that data onto our platform. So let's say if somebody went for a COVID-19 test, तो उस वक्त जो है उनका जो नंबर है, जो probability है, वो हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म में बढ़ जाएगी, और the risk of them carrying the disease. So that
Depending
is
on
so
the
that is
depending on the
that is a perfect example of what a consolidation of data would look like. And also, so for instance, abhi my food panda is coming, right? So the other things that we can do is कि food panda का जो rider आ रहा है, food panda can take APIs from us, and then I can see कि यार उस specific rider की health कितनी है, right? What is the probability? Is it a green? Is it a yellow? Is it a red? And obviously, I mean, one of the factors that that will come up is the fact कि यार कितनी accurate है वो. But then again, I always say this: the solutions have to be marginally better. They don't have to be foolproof. So we're just trying to make something which is marginally better than what we have right now.
True, true.
yeah.
Okay.
So, what do you think is like the biggest challenge that you guys are facing, apart from the technical aspects of the thing, like working with different departments or whatever? कोई एक hurdle, कोई मसला, कोई bottleneck अगर आप लोगों को पेश आ रहा है, आप you want to enlighten us about that?
I think one of the major things that we are facing right now, and we will eventually fail, is the consolidation of data, in the sense that a lot of data right now is just being done offline, right? I mean, if it were like naturally digitized, then we could just take those APIs, put that in our database, and keep updating it. But so that is a huge issue for us right now, because I mean. अस्पताल में जो लोग आते हैं, या फिर इवन टू सम एक्सटेंट, आई हैव अनदर कंपनी वर्क साइकिल के नाम से, एंड वी हैव इस्लामाबाद डायग्नोस्टिक सेंटर ऑन आवर प्लेटफॉर्म. सो आईडीसी जो है वो घर पे आके जो है आपसे टेस्ट लेती है, राइट? लेकिन अब वो जो उनका जो फॉर्म फिल करवा रहे हैं वो ऑफलाइन करवा रहे हैं, राइट? आई मीन दैट जस्ट लाइक, आई मीन वुडंट जस्ट लाइक हेल्प एवरीवन कि आप गूगल फॉर्म भी बना लो, ठीक है, मतलब कोई फिल कर ले ताकि हमें कोई डेटा मिल जाए, हमें कुछ पता चल जाए क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा. लेकिन ऑल ऑफ दैट इज बीइंग डन ऑन पेपर. पेम्स में जो टेस्ट होते हैं वो पेपर पे होते हैं. तो वो दैट इज अ ह्यूज इशू फॉर अस कि यार, मतलब अगर वो चीज़ें डिजिटाइज होती तो फॉर अस इट वुड हैव बीन लाइक वॉक इन द पार्क. बट नाउ अब हमें उनको अलग से डिजिटाइज करना पड़ेगा इफ वी वांट दैट डेटा, और प्रोवाइड देम विद समथिंग एल्स. And when you provide them with something else, then there is also has to be like a training session for the employees and everyone there, वो कर पाएंगे कि नहीं कर पाएंगे. So that is going to be a huge hurdle, and I think we'll have to be very creative in how we resolve that issue. So, mother, for instance, putting in data wouldn't be the solution. Maybe taking pictures of barcodes will be the solution. So maybe we'd move something towards that.
Yeah.
So obviously, in like remote and more, far-flung areas of the country where there's not a lot of access, there are small villages of like small population. There's no digitization over there as well, and obviously your reach over there will be limited as well. You can't. It's difficult to visit every village. So how do you plan on overcoming that issue?
So yeah, so that's a good question. So what we are planning, so we have a thing to address that, but then we can go into the effectiveness of that. So
Yeah.
the reason we're using a tidy tree and we're using all of that, so somebody doesn't have to have a smartphone. If somebody, because we're also using GPS location, right? So if somebody has like a normal phone which is not a smartphone, we can still tell that whether that person has whether he was exposed to COVID-19 or not. The actual question becomes कि how many of these people are actually can read something on their phone, and how many of them can actually like will implement on that. So I don't know about that, but in terms of the technical aspect of it, it's not very hard for us that we to like dispatch an SMS to them that you might have been like exposed to COVID-19.
So
But also, I think one of the other issues that we were thinking
add
about was
on
that.
to I
Mhm.
think I'll add on to what Asher said is basically इस इसमें ज़्यादा जो है ना managerial or resources का है. So if you have a lot of resources, anything can be done. क्योंकि मतलब for example anyone entering Islamabad for example can be asked to send an SMS on this number or this text maybe or missed call कर लो मतलब एक different array of चीज़ें हो सकती है ताकि it verifies that they entered Islamabad और they went to a location जहाँ वो जैसे चाइना में हो रहा है लेकिन चाइना में मज़े की बात ये है कि 94% of the population has a smartphone. We have to do it with the 3310 वाला Nokia 3310 वाला करना होगा या कुछ इस तरह करना होगा. So then again,
1100
you need a
Motorola.
lot of resources, manpower to do this. So this is a very good point.
And I think one of the question that you asked was very interesting, and I think it's a very good question because one of the other things that we would need more is that more than just like visualizing the threat for people, I think the government, the security agencies should use this to enforce. Selective lockdowns, right? So selected lockdowns is sort of like the term Mamoon came up with, and because I was googling it the other day and I couldn't find anything, and I asked him, I'm like, did you come up with this? He's like, hi, I did. So selected lockdown means that you pick up as the name suggests, you pick up a certain group and you put a lockdown on them and not others. So I think in a lot of ways the security agencies can use this because the app becomes only effective once there is enforceability by law, right? I mean, if somebody is rated, let's say, red on our app, and then we know for a fact that that person is not staying home and he's regularly visiting somewhere, so you can, or there's a cluster of people doing the same thing. So then I think that is where enforceability of law can sort of come in. So that would make it slightly more effective once you have like these manual processes into the digital aspect of it.
Absolutely.
And it sort of makes it even more efficient for the authorities to make it. Their approach will be targeted basically. जो
Yes,
जगह
yes,
जो
बिल्कुल.
तो वो इधर उधर नहीं फिर रहे होंगे कि यार हर दूसरे बंदे का टेस्ट कराओ जो एलीट है उसका टेस्ट करो जो गरीब है उसको बेचारे को लाइन में लगा लो ये चीज नहीं होगी डेटा विल
उसको कहो
रूल
अल्लाह तुम्हारा वारिस है भाई तुम कटो.
जो बात
So I mean, I'm just
नहीं,
thinking that Ramzan
that's
may,
pretty
or
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm just
Go ahead, go
because
ahead.
Mamun and I were discussing that maybe in Ramadan we might just see all the masjids being read during Tarawih. So we were just like we were talking about that's like a huge thing. कि मतलब, people coming together like this and the risk there obviously. So we were discussing that कि यार मतलब in our apps the only red places might just end up being masjids and ये सारी जगह हैं. So there is that threat.
Okay.
नहीं, this is very actually जो इसकी implementation है ना कि it's going to be only working in clusters, like if you want to enforce a lockdown just enforce in clusters, like map people out कि किधर ज्यादा मसला है किधर कम है ताकि haphazardly सारा कुछ बंद नहीं कर सकते आप सारा कुछ नहीं कर सकते, you need it to be partial. So yeah, it very very interesting. So that's
that
good.
is important.
All right, guys, we are facing some crazy technical difficulties. मेरा इंटरनेट 4 दफा कट रहा है, like बार बार उसे डिवाइस को रिस्टार्ट करना पड़ रहा है. Our stream is, I
I
think it's
think the whole
stuck.
of Pakistan is
Maybe it's
using the
working.
internet right now, so
कुछ मसला चल रहा है,
Yeah, our
but we
video is not
are
working. We're having a
potentially
lot of.
not live right now. कुछ समझ नहीं आ रही. तो अनुषे की भी स्ट्रीम डाउन है, मेरी भी स्ट्रीम डाउन है.
Yeah, my internet is just
So
not supporting
I
us
missed
today.
out on a bunch of that conversation. लेकिन क्या करें?
It is what it
नहीं
is.
no issue. I think the whole of Pakistan is using the internet right now. तो सब वेले बैठे हुए हैं इस वजह से.
I think that just might be it.
मैं
पता
आज देख
नहीं.
रहा था गूगल न्यूज के ऊपर भी कोई एक आर्टिकल उस पे लिखा हुआ था कि द डिमांड फॉर स्ट्रीमिंग सर्विसेज हैज इंक्रीज ड्रामेटिकली इन पाकिस्तान, लाइक यूट्यूब नेटफ्लिक्स वगैरह, ये वो बहुत बड़ा सर्ज आया है कि लोग बहुत ज्यादा
Yeah.
देख रहे हैं.
गूगल ने अपनी
तो
पूरी रिपोर्ट निकाली है इस चीज़ के ऊपर कि मतलब फूड डिलीवरी ग्रोसरी डिलीवरी इंक्रीज हो गई है नेटफ्लिक्स और रेसिपीज सबसे ज्यादा ऊपर आ रहे हैं सो या
ट्रू ट्रू.
All right, I feel like we've
it's
lost
a it's
Asad
a
again.
it's something digital world.
But thank you so much for coming, Mamoon. I feel like
Hadeed, we can't hear you.
oh, sorry, my mic is mute. So I feel like we've lost
हाँ.
Asad again. Saying it. And but thank you so much, Mamoon, for coming. Abdullah's not here right now. Is he gone or we just?
Yeah, I think Food Panda arrived or something like
Oh,
that.
okay, amazing. So we're gonna we thank you once again for coming and giving us all your insight on
Thank you
COVID and
so
the
much.
app and everything and how
Thank you
you
so
guys
much for
plan on tracking
inviting
it.
me.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, like the
Take care.
results from it come out really good and this
Inshallah.
lockdown ends quickly and we just gotta go back to our normal lives soon.
Yeah,
हाँ
definitely.
यार, नाई के पास जाने वाला मेरा भी टाइम हो गया, आप देख सकते हैं मेरी
I know.
शक्ल देख के तो
घर पे
the
बुलाओ
sooner
घर
it ends, the sooner I can go.
पे। Yeah.
So Abdullah back.
Okay, let's.
Abdullah, we're wrapping it up. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for giving us all your insight on the apps that you guys are developing and you and Mamoon have been working on. Uh, Hopefully your effort does not go to any kind of waste. Fingers crossed that we get good results out of it.
Inshallah.
All right.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, guys. It's
Thank you
been an
so much
absolute
for giving
pleasure.
us
Thank
your
you so
time.
much.
Thank you so much.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Okay.
Okay.
Hafiz. Okay. I feel like we still don't have Anoushe or Asad with us, so I guess Kaka that.
I'm here on audio.
Oh, okay. But I feel
Shayad.
like with all the problems our stream's getting, I think now is a good time to wrap up because like it was a good place to end it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Super
Yes,
short
sir.
podcast today, half the length of what we usually do, but the internet's not giving us any kind of leeway to kind of keep continuing.
शार्क आ गए भाई हमारे सारे के सारे इरादों के बीच में और अब हम नहीं कर सकते, क्या करें?
खैर यहाँ पे हम लोग खत्म करते हैं अपनी कहानी सही है ना hopefully next time थोड़ा सा बेहतर होएगा internet and we'll be able to talk a little bit better without our stream getting stuck बार बार. Alrighty guys, I will see you when I see you and our 3 viewers as well. Peace.
Okay. Peace.